in that density within the unit, and they can give a microscopic view. At that point, then they can recommend your practitioner, a different practitioner, to help you out. Okay, so why don't we just go to that practitioner in the first place? Why don't we just go to our primary? Why don't we go to the other practitioners? That's because just because you have density inconsistencies, it may be the next category of hair loss, and your trichologist will be able to tell you that. So what am I saying? There's an external follicular type of hair loss, and that I've coined at my institute called follicular epidermis alopecia. So this is a form of alopecia because you have the same pattern of that to the naked eye. In other words, you have diffuse thinning. Sometimes you can have the little circular areas. You have various things that look like internal follicular loss, but it's not. And that's why the examination is important. So what is that? I want to tell you a little bit about this. So what am I seeing here and what am I saying? Well, as a trichologist, one of the things that I do is I do the microscopic examinations. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for blockages around the mouth of the follicle. When I see density inconsistencies with a magnifying light, or when I see these inconsistencies there even with a microscope, I use a higher level of magnification to determine what that is. So usually I can find the blockage if there's a blockage there. If I don't see the blockage, I'm going to see the villus hair, or I'm going to see the miniaturization of the mouth of the follicle. So at that point, then I can help point you in the right direction. Now, with external follicular alopecia, we will find these little pinhole type blockages right in the lip or the mouth of the follicle. And what are they? And where do they come from? Well, first, they're pollutants. They're pollutants, and pollutants come from 3 different areas. Number 1, you have dead skin cells. We call them scalp pollutants. Scalp pollutants are just solid dead skin cells. They're solidified. They begin to solidify, and they sit and rest in the mouth of the follicle, and they build up. Usually we find this a major problem with individuals with extremely dry hair, dry scalp, individuals that do not shampoo often and use high pH shampoos if they do shampoo often. So even individuals with oily scalp can have it because they're using these high pH shampoos to help rid the oil. So we find that. So the body or the epidermis will begin to peel excessively as it's trying to get a nice, even epidermis or cornea layer. The other type of pollutant that we find is cosmetic. Many individuals, I see patients come in all the time with this type of pollutant because cosmetic pollutants are pollutants from hair products. And especially with women use, and men are beginning to do it, and with our children, unfortunately, we're using so many hydrating shampoos, and some people are afraid of shampoos because of the surfactants and the things that they believe that harm their scalp and their body. So they're using these shampoos, and they're not shampooing it sometimes. So they're calling it no poo, where they're actually leaving this conditioner or these filmy cosmetics that are not water soluble. They either don't rinse clean from the hair, so they're using conditioning shampoos. They don't clean the hair with the conditioning shampoos, or they're using conditioner only. So then you run into a problem with the cosmetic buildup. That, coupled with the scalp pollutants and the cosmetic pollutants, they solidify. Where do they go? Around the wall or the mouth of the follicle. The final one, which everyone gets this, especially in your very polluted seasons like spring with all the pollen and ragweed and all these other things, And then in your summer with dust, dirt, and debris, well, it gets in the hair, works its way to the scalp, and blends with these scalp pollutants, cosmetic pollutants, now environmental pollutants. They solidify. So over a period of time, you begin to get this solid pollutant along the mouth of the follicle. And so what we see is it building up slowly around the mouth of the follicle. So depending on how dense the substance is or the texture, meaning size of your strand, that will determine whether or not that hair can properly emerge. If the hair is there, once it sheds off, then those pollutants will try and gather around the lip or the mouth of the follicle. Then you have this blockage. Usually those blockages are temporary. A type of pollutant that will clog the follicle and literally destroy it comes from our dead skin cells, which is scar tissue. So that's very important when you injure the scalp, first or second degree, that we definitely don't get into the second degree point, because then you're in the dermis area where the hair is developed, and you can cause a destruction of that little manufacturing plant, the follicle, where the area is the hair is developed. I know this is a lot, but I'm gonna put this video, this my show on my website at lisaackberry.com or on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and Google my name and hair loss, and that way you'll have it. Or you can email me, lisa@lisaackberry.com, and I can send this to you or give you a link to where this video will be. Because I think it's real important for us to understand those two categories. In our last 3 minutes of the show, I just want to remind you there are two categories of hair loss. One is internal follicular loss, which is the way happening inside the tube-like impression that rests in the dermis, the portion where the hair is developed. And the second is external follicular loss, which occurs in the area on the surface of the scalp, right in the epidermis, where the mouth of the follicle rests, where the hair emerges from the follicle. And then finally, and we don't have enough time to give this justice, but I'm gonna just speak about it, breakage, chronic breakage known as short hair syndrome. And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more at the next show, but that's when you can find a thinning strand, and it may not necessarily be density changes. So some of you can say, well, my hair is thick at the scalp, but then on the strands in the body of the shaft and toward the ends. Well, that's something I've coined as short hair syndrome. So I can help you with understanding how to prevent that. But just remember, what do you do? What's your takeaway and what's your homework? Number one, you want to collect your strands, and you want to make sure that any of the strands that you're seeing, you want to put those to the side so they can be read. You can actually go on my website and you can look under strand reading, and then you can send those in and have those read, and I can help you. The other thing you want to do is you want to check your scalp. Get in the mirror, part your hair, look for inconsistencies in your density, Christmas tree type parts. Comb your hair straight up. See if you can see your scalp. Then those types of things, there's a clear indication that there are some problems with the way your hair is emerging from the follicle, whether it's internal or external. So it's real crucial for us to do that. And then the next thing is you must have an examination by a trichologist, one who uses a handheld microscope so that they can help you to determine the category of hair loss that you're suffering from, and then they will make a recommendation on which practitioner you should see. So if you have questions, call my institute, the World Trichology Institute, at 901-380-4445. That's 901-380-4445. Or you can visit me on the web at lisaackberry.com. That's LISAAKBARI.com. Or you can email me, lisa@lisaackberry.com. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Lisa Ackberry, your hair doctor, and I will be right here next month, right here at On Cable Tonight, just to answer any questions that you may have. So I just like to say to you, thank you for letting me come in to your home today and give you all this wonderful information on alopecia, which is hair loss. So to God be the glory in Jesus. I thank you again for letting me come into your home. Have a blessed evening.